Welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Richard Burns, and you are currently at the Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Where's your money going? I've been hearing a lot of complaints. Gas prices too high, diesel prices too high. I did a video on that explaining exactly why it was high. In fact, it's not just high, it's unnecessarily high. Very interesting. I suggest you go check that out. You'll know the truth behind it. It is not just gas. Remember, it's also food. Now, how is it, okay, that the oil industry got caught out? It got caught out because a company named Pioneer wanted to merge with ExxonMobil. Well, as far as the food is concerned, we got a major food chain that wants to merge with another one. So we got Kroger's wanting to merge with Albertsons. So what happened in the oil industry? The Federal Trade Commission had to approve the merger, and in order to approve the merger, the Federal Trade Commission under the Biden administration said, we need to see what's going on before we say yes, because we need to know what's going to happen to the American consumer if you guys merge. And that's when the truth came out. Okay. Well, Kroger's wants to merge with Albertson. And guess who stepped in? Yes, the Federal Trade Commission, because they got to make sure what's going to happen if you guys merge. Are we going to have a company so strong that it'll soon eliminate everybody else and then become a monopoly? Well, we can't have that, because we got laws against that, and we got to make sure that you're not in position to do that. All right. Cool. Very cool. Kroger, what's going on? Oh, wait a second. Everybody's going around blaming the Biden administration because of what you're doing. Just like the oil industry. You got people that don't know what's really going on. They need somebody to blame, so they blame the Biden administration. Well, now, let's have a look. Oh, there's an article. Let's put the article up. Corporate greed exposed. What? Corporate greed exposed? What do you mean? Kroger admits to price gouging on milk and eggs amid antitrust trial. So they're on trial, being charged with antitrust violations. Understand, these are private entities. These are corporations. They are not owned by the government. The government doesn't own and operate these entities. They can only step in when evidence surfaces, and then then the government can act. It's just like living in the hood, right? The hood. The cops know who's engaging in illegal activity. For example, these men and women out in the street selling pharmaceutical goods without a license. Okay, nobody's coming up with anyone with a license claiming to be able to stand on a street corner or inside a building somewhere and just sell pharmaceuticals. Ain't nobody got prescriptions for these illegally sold pharmaceuticals, and the cops know who they are. But the cops need to acquire evidence in order to drag them into court and then get them punished for what they're doing. How many people in the hood don't share the same attire? How many people in the hood don't dress like these people who are selling these illegal goods? Plenty of young men and women walk around in the hood. In the hood, they're walking around, and you can't tell by the way they dress. They all share a particular culture, or it could be through rap, it could be through whatever. But if a cop were to roll up and say, okay, you look like one of these people that are out here selling this stuff, come with me. They put the cuffs on, throw them in the back seat of the patrol car, take them down, process them. They wind up going to court, and then what? Nothing. Because there's no evidence. Even if the person that is actually doing it and is dressed that way and they decide to arrest them, there's still nothing that can happen to them because there's no evidence. You need evidence. And nobody walks around. Corporations don't walk around with a sign. They don't advertise on TV, on radio, on YouTube, Twitter, and all that. They don't go advertising, hey folks, okay, we're doing some illegal stuff here. So now that Kroger wants to merge with Albertson because they want a bigger piece of the pie, right? That's the goal. The goal is to get a larger market share. All right, cool. But the Federal Trade Commission under the Biden administration is doing their job for us to make sure that we don't get caught off guard, taken advantage of. Like I said, you can suspect all you want that somebody, that's the whole foundation behind conspiracy theorists are these suspicions, because they start putting one thing together with another, and yeah, this is okay. You can say that all day, every day, but you listening to a conspiracy theorist, you have to be able to discern what's being said and how much of that is being said with a foundation, with proof. If there's no proof, if there's no evidence, if they ain't got no receipts, it's just a theory. Now, you can act on this theory if you want to, but that would be the same as a person being in a court without the prosecutor having any evidence to present. What are they gonna do? Oh, we're going to punish you anyway. Not in these courts. There have been innocent people, yes, that have gone to prison, that have been convicted. But there has been misconduct. There has been prosecutorial misconduct. There has been tampering with evidence. Tampering with evidence. But not on hearsay. Not on what he said, she said. No, that ain't gonna fly in court. You gotta come to the table with something. Once again, dealers in the hood, they're not walking around with signs telling the police, hey, you know, we're selling stuff we ain't supposed to be. Hand-to-hand transactions aren't all out in the open, although in New York City it got to that level. But for the most part, nobody's just doing they're not waiting for a cop to do a transaction right in front of the cop. And the same with these corporations. They're not just taking advantage of people and putting up a billboard on the highway. Company X is taking advantage of you. Come buy with us. No, they're not doing that. Again, you can suspect all you want. If the proof ain't in your hands, you ain't got much of a support for your accusation. But here it is. No, it's not. It's not the Biden administration. It's not Harris that's going around making it so that the prices are higher than what they need to be. They admitted in court. The exec from Kroger admitted, and let me tell you something. Kroger ain't the only one. Kroger's not the only one that's causing an unnecessary spike in the food prices right now. Oh, you thought they weren't just because I'm telling you about this now and telling you about Kroger? No, Kroger's not the only one. You got meat processors that have been price gouging. You got quite a few. But they're not all going into mergers. So unless there's some concrete evidence by a whistleblower or someone, the authorities got their hands tied behind their back. This ain't Russia. This ain't China, where the government could just burst into somebody's business and say, hold up, we suspect. Okay, you suspect, but why do you suspect? Let's go to court and show me what evidence you have to suspect me. You don't need that in Russia. You don't need that in China. Those governments just go in and say, no, this is what it is, and you're going down. That's it. See ya. We're shutting down your business. Bye. This ain't Russia. This ain't Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, China. Nah, this ain't that. This ain't that. I know that there are people that are willing to shoot themselves in the foot and help convert our government into those types of governments, into an authoritarian government. There are a lot of people here that are willing to do that. But that's not how it works here. Not now, at least. We'll find out in November if we'll be flipping over to an authoritarian government or not. I've been following Professor Littman. And Lichtman, and in case if you don't know who Professor Lichtman is, he's the professor that accurately predicted every election for the past 40 years accurately. Now there's one that's in question, but he was still right. And that was the Gore-Bush election in 2000. He had Gore winning, and there was some funny business going on with the votes in Florida, which was under the governorship of Jeb Bush, George W.'s brother. And the Democratic Party contested it in court. It went up to the Supreme Court, and yes, Gore did actually win the state of Florida and did actually win the elections. But by the time that the Supreme Court was all done with that, Gore just said whatever. He conceded and they moved on. But he actually did win. It's all good though. So Professor Lichtman just put out his, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, he put out his prediction. And just because he put out his prediction and he's been right every time for the past 40 years, depending on which side of the coin you land, it doesn't mean you should just think for 1 second that the results are all set in stone. Don't fall for that. If you're an American citizen and you have the right to vote, this is your opportunity to be a supervisor to the government. You get to select. You're the one that determines what the criteria is. You get to choose which of the applicants is going to get the job and what job they're going to get. You're going to process all the information. You're going to look at their work history. You're going to look at, just like on an application where you got to put where you lived in the previous 5 years, what jobs you held in the past 10 years. You're looking over the application right now, and you got more than one applicant. And you got to pick whichever application you think is the best one. Every 4 years, we get this opportunity to do this with a president. Every 4 years, they submit their application. Now you got to look over it. How good of a supervisor are you? How good of a business person are you? So you got your business, you got up out of the hood, and now you own a business. You're still friends with people from the hood. You're still friends with the guys that served their time came back for murder and they're chilling, you're still breaking bread with these guys. You're still breaking bread with the dealers and the guys who came back home from a prison sentence for dealing. You're still friends. You still know them. When you stop by the neighborhood, you still hug each other, you still embrace each other, you still give each other dap. You're still friends with the car thief. You're still friends with the dude that has a habit. You just don't know that. You got to find an excuse or a reason to get the hell away from them, because they're gonna beg you for money. You already know that. That's coming. But you still know them. You still have a relationship with them. All right. So what? You need someone in your store. You need someone who's gonna work the register in the store, or you need somebody who's going to manage the store. Your friends from the hood find out, hey, I need a job. So you're going to take one of the characters that I just mentioned over somebody who doesn't have a criminal history, or somebody who doesn't have these interesting little habits. Some 25-year-old who's still in college submits an application, never been arrested, family's hardworking, has a job history. Who are you gonna pick? I mean, honestly, I'm gonna pick that college kid. The other dudes from the hood, yeah, I got love for them. But honestly, they don't qualify for what I need. I don't need one of my homeboys from the hood to be at the store and a customer comes in with a complaint about something, and my homeboy with the short fuse says, yo, I don't care what happened, you're just gonna have to eat that. And then an exchange comes out, the obscenities come out, the insults come out, and my boy knocks the person out, or takes whoever it is and just grabs them by the seat of their pants and tosses them out the store. I can't have that. So I'm not gonna put myself in a predicament by hiring my homeboy. I'm gonna hire that college kid. I'm not gonna put my business in jeopardy. I'm not gonna put my family's well-being in jeopardy because these are my homeboys and I have love for them. Nope. So everyone who's of voting age in this country, they get to play human resources. Come November, you get to play human resources. Let's check it out. Let's go down the list. Let's see the pluses and let's see the minuses. And you have to be able to have discernment. Not everybody has discernment. Not everybody has discernment. Not everybody can weigh things out properly. For example, one guy, he's a thief. He's a booster, okay? Booster, if you haven't heard that term before, a booster is somebody who goes to stores and walks out with items from that store without paying. They tuck it under their shirt, or they put the shirt on and put their own shirt on top of that shirt. They take the tags off. They figure out ways to get out without setting off alarms, this, that, and the third. That's a booster. Now, you're put in a predicament. You're put in a predicament. You only have these two options. That is it. That's it. You only got two options. There's no yeah, but if, there's no but if, there's no nothing. You got two options. Which one are you gonna pick and why? We got two criminals. They need to stay in your house for 24 hours. Two criminals. Oh, but they're both criminals, so it's the same. Okay, they're the same. Well, you got that booster. You can pick the booster in your house for 24 hours. Well, we got another criminal here. He's a serial killer. Those are your only two options. There's no yeah, but, nothing, none of that. Those are your two options. They got to stay in your home with your family for 24 hours. Are they still both the same because they're both criminals? Are they? You got to pick one. You got to pick one. You ain't got no other options. You got to pick one. Put in the description below which one you'll pick. Which one are you going to pick? By the way, Professor Lichtman has predicted Harris Walz to be the winners of this election. All right, guys, I gotta go. I got the company calling me. I'll catch up with you guys again. By the way, I've been traveling along I-95 north in New Jersey, and once again, no hands on anything. All right, so stay fresh, y'all. Keep it profitable, and where the hell you at, man? Oh, there you go. Kitty, come on, let's go.
Arabam Dacia, seviyorum çift kalem aça. Göremedi kimseden fayda, işler